They're conditions we haven't seen in more than 20 years. Sydney lashed by torrential rain, raging floods and destructive winds. While the low pressure system is now slowly moving south, it's caused havoc in almost every suburb it smashed into.
Day 3 and the worst yet. Every inch of Sydney, not just soggy, but soaked. Rain coming down in every direction. Trees falling like dominoes. This home at Bayview split down the middle.
I screamed and I ran up to my bathroom to get away from it, and it came down.
Helping at the fires now floods former Prime Minister Tony Abbott. There were too many close calls to count. A cab crushed on George Street in the city, 4 passengers taken to hospital. The driver was somehow okay. Double the danger at Artarmon and Wahroonga as power lines were brought down too. In the big wet, a plastic poncho doesn't quite cut it, but these boarding school students from drought-ravaged Dubbo relished every moment.
The rain doesn't bother us, like a normal day.
Most drivers couldn't see the upside or even straight in front of them. Roads swamped at Wentworth Point. In Jamison Town, they were swallowed. Residents in awe of their sudden water views.
Terrible rain the last couple of days. It's been absolute downpour, and this is the second time our street's flooded in 24 hours.
It was too dangerous to cross the Yarramundi Bridge, closed to traffic as the Nepean River burst its banks. The Hawkesbury gave way too, leaving the North Richmond crossing barely recognisable.
It's been an incredible spectacle.
It's not hard to see why the Parramatta River is also on flood watch. Some of the heaviest falls were in the Blue Mountains, a welcome sight at Wentworth Falls, but not at Katoomba, where a mudslide left this mess. Our coast copped its fair share. Collaroy rock pool resembling a washing machine, while just north at Narrabeen the kids were making the most of it. This car going for a swim in the local lake. It is the triple whammy lashing Sydney right now. Relentless rain, gusty winds and hazardous surf conditions. The Bureau says we haven't seen a weather event like this since 1998. That weather event whipping up our surf, the highest wave recorded off Sydney, a monstrous 13.9 metres. There was even swell at harbour beaches like Balmoral. The rain in Sydney will ease tonight, the attention now turning to our fire-ravaged south.
On that coast, during tonight and tomorrow, we could see similar rainfall rates to what we've seen up north.
OK, let's go live to 9's Tiffany Genders at Balmoral Beach. Tiff, there's a bizarre sight just offshore tonight.
Pete, this yacht has been stranded on the sand for most of the afternoon and it's providing quite the spectacle. A lot of locals down here braving this wild weather to check it out. It slipped from its moorings a few hours ago. Thankfully, there was no one on board. The mammoth task ahead tonight is trying to get it off the sand and back in the water, but as you can see, it is too dangerous to do that right now.
OK, Tiff, time for you to go indoors. Let's go to Elizabeth Bryan on the banks of the Georges River this evening. Lizzie, you've got some breaking news on our flood warnings.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. The SES has issued 2 flood emergency warnings. The first is for low-lying areas of Narrabeen and North Narrabeen. People there are being told to prepare to evacuate in the next 2 hours. The second is for the low-lying areas of North Richmond, anywhere close to the Nepean River, any house close to the Nepean River. People there are being told to evacuate if asked to do so. As you can see here tonight, Pete, on the Georges River, there is also a flood warning in place. Suburbs, including Liverpool and Milperra, should be on high alert this evening. Pete?
All right, well done, Lizzie. Thank you for that. Across the rest of the state, floods have replaced fires as widespread rain drenches the coast and, importantly, our drought-ravaged country communities. While they're not fighting fires, today a fresh danger for rescue crews, fast-flowing rivers and rising floodwaters.
Risking his own life for the sake of another, a specially trained SES crewman swims towards a man wedged between logs in a recharged Allen River in the state's Upper Hunter. With life jackets and a rope, they inch through the rapids and finally to safety.
The patient was in the water for about 90 minutes. He was trapped between two fairly large logs that had come down the river. This guy is very lucky to be alive.
Further south, it was a muddy wake-up call at Spears Point.
That is insane, you're kidding me.
Fast-flowing mud on their doorsteps.
I came out to the front deck and both sides of my house just had rivers of water just going down my backyard. It was pretty scary.
Torrents of dirt and water hurtling down the hill not far from Newcastle, locals blaming a nearby development.
Everyone's very house proud in our street, and so there's a lot of damage that's happened throughout our street.
At Brunswick Heads, cars with the casualties as roads were swallowed north of Byron Bay. Mick Love got stuck, his car stalled. After driving into floodwaters, he walked out, but his wife had to be rescued.
He wasn't very happy. I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
And at Quambo, near Coonamble in the state's northwest, puddles and rising dams, an unfamiliar sight for the locals. Paddocks became lakes, but the falls have proved patchy, drought-breaking for some, heartbreaking for others.
I have some country to the east of us here, the other end of the property, that had nearly 200 millimetres, but then I have country behind you back that way that's only had 12 millimetres.
But still, they're not complaining.
You can make money out of mud, whereas you can't make money out of dust.
From the country to our coast, soggy, soaking and loving it. Lizzie Pearl, 9 News.
And we have pictures just into the newsroom. A family, including their pet dogs, have been rescued by the SES as floodwaters closed in this afternoon. Their home on Arimba Creek Road at Arimba on the Central Coast, cut off by the rapidly rising river. OK, Amber's with me in the studio. It's all about the numbers today. Amber, how much rain did we see?
It sure is, Pete. Good evening to you. We have seen the heaviest rain in nearly 4 years. Let's take a look at the radar today. Sydney, the Blue Mountains and the Hunter picking up the heaviest falls across the state. And as we go to air, Wahroonga has seen 160 millimetres since 9 a.m, 141 falling in Hornsby, 138 millimetres in Parramatta, the city, picking up 100 millimetres. And we've seen storm force winds with gusts of 107 kilometres an hour at North Head, the strongest in 16 years, 102 at Fort Denison and over 90 kilometres an hour at the airport and in the harbour. Now, a warning remains in place tonight for damaging winds, heavy rain, high tides and powerful surf right along the New South Wales coastline. But the heaviest rain will move towards the south coast tonight.